new one. Another unreleased record. You guys want to hear some more unreleased music? This time I made it with my friend JJ Lin.
Hi, this is Scott Elliott with Fashion Week Online, here to interview Steve Aoki, entrepreneur, visionary futurist, fashion icon, and record-setting DJ. Steve, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have merged your passions for fashion, art, unique, one-of-a-kind items in a number of different ways. What appeals to you when choosing your next look for fashion?
Yeah, it's always about the feeling. I trust my intuition for sure, and I'm always traveling. I'm seeing so much. I'm a very self-aware. I'm very critical about being present, and I just let my experiential awareness be kind of my guide. But yeah, and I like to have fun. I like to experiment, try different things. For DimMock, the DimMock side of things, we have a pretty structured layout as far as our collaborations go. We've really kind of cornered the anime IP market, done tons of collaborations in the anime space, a lot of the cult kind of IP spaces when it comes to like the Matrix or the Gremlins or Thundercats or like, fun things like that. My Little Pony, we just dropped that one. We're going to start doing some more in the NFT space, collabing with NFT blue chip projects. And then on the one-on-one side, that's more intuitive. I'm just having fun experimenting on clothes. I used to doodle all over my pants when I was a teenager. And then when I used to go on tour, like literally when I was in bands, when I was like DJing early on, for the past decades, I was always like drawing and making little characters all over my clothes. It just was part of who I was. So that turned into a fun little thing that I would always like draw all over my stuff, my clothes, to a full-on Aoki one-of-one brand that I do it, wear it for a couple shows, especially some Hallmark shows that people are at, and some of the fans that were at the shows would actually want to buy that jeans or jacket or shoes or whatnot. And we've done like at least a couple hundred pieces like that. And
that is basically a physical NFT.
Yeah, exactly. It's a physical wearable NFT collectible. Awesome. And that's actually the future where it's going to go, because obviously with the digital wearables that we're going to be making inside of Sandbox, inside of the Metaverse of where that's going to be, that's going to be connected to the Aoki 101s. So we're going to be fusing worlds together. It's called phygital, right? So combining the physical and the digital into one, and we'll be definitely toying with that.
Awesome. That's exciting. Well, you've talked a little bit there about NFTs. Talk to us more about the launch of Aokiverse. What is the Aokiverse and what makes it special compared to, everybody's talking about Metaverse right now, but tell us about this Aokiverse.
This is a social membership community. Mm-hmm. It's a community that combines real world life, real world activities and rewards, and a real world community with what's happening in NFTs, what's happening in Web 3.0. So you combine those two and you have this very social overarching kind of like Soho House meets, like the frequent flyer mileage clubs. You have all the NFT kind of activities and all the stuff that we're curating or that we're part of or that we're connected with, because that's a big piece of the whole membership, is people want to have access into the allow list that we're partnered with, that we've worked on, or that are our personal NFT projects. And then all things happening in the real world, coming to my shows, making a record with me, these like being in the studio with me, all these different kind of access points on top of the actual NFT, the actual digital asset, the digital art that people are buying, selling, and trading, and it's exciting. It's really exciting. It's we launched it 4 weeks ago, and we have a few thousand members inside of the Aokiverse membership community. We're actually doing the very first concert specifically for all the Aokiverse passport citizens. So the citizens of the Aokiverse passport, all the NFT holders, we're doing the very first concert actually in 2 days. So that's going to happen in
Wednesday,
LA.
March 30th. This week, I will be there. I have my passport. And I'm excited to see this show because it's always amazing to be the first person to experience something like this. So I can't wait to see it. That's going to be incredible, Steve.
I remember like I was at I performed at something like this. So Gala Games, who we work with as well, they're very dear friends of ours. They did their own membership kind of community show, and they took over the iconic forum, which holds like 20,000 people. And they created a whole world inside the forum. They brought in Kings of Leon to perform, her to perform, myself to perform. I mean, they spent God knows how much money to bring in all these artists for literally 200 to 300 people inside of this venue that holds 20,000 people. It's kind of a big fuck you to everything. Like, we will take over the biggest thing and we'll make it ours. We'll make our own world there, and it will make it special. And I love that. Like that there's 200 people, including myself, watching Kings of Leon. And then I performed right after that, you know? So it was, you know, it's really inspiring to see that. And it also helped, you know, it was like, we were already very, very far along on the Aokiverse, but I was excited to see what the Aokiverse shows look like. And I love that it's going to be intimate. I have no idea how many people are there, but I really don't care if there's 10 or if there's 500, because it's like, to me, it's like every single person in the crowd is a holder of an Aokiverse passport. And that is really meaningful to me. So, you know, just like with anything, you want to see things that happen right away. And a lot of these NFT communities that I'm part of, sometimes the roadmap is very distant on when you can actually see a level of utility, right? So when we launched this, we're like, at least there's something that we could deliver right away, because this is what I do. This is what my brand is all about. Experience, you know, like real world experience. And now I get to just siphon it and focus exclusively on just, you know, the people that are part of the community. And also, you know, there's already Aokiverse citizens I saw in Australia holding a big banner up at my show at Ultra Australia in Melbourne, to like a bunch of fans making their own Character X t-shirts for my first NFT launch. So it's just exciting to see the NFT community pop up, you know, in places that you wouldn't expect. And it's kind of like, if you know kind of thing. And it's kind of cool.
It is exciting. And you hit on two important things there. People ask continuously, why NFTs? And you describe adding value, adding utility, adding access. And that's what is unlocked with this passport to the Aokiverse. It's your key, truly.
It's a key to so much more, not just like, you know, these live experiences, but just everything that's happening in Web3, what we're going to be doing, what we're laying out. And it's kind of like one of the main reasons that I was excited about doing this is that there's so much activity and so much access and so many different opportunities that are being handed to me because of who I am. And I want to find a way to share that with everyone else. You know, it's not to share it with just my friends, because sometimes that's how it is. Like, you get like some level of access, you only share it with a few of your friends. Well, in this case, the way it works, community is such a big part of the NFT culture. And when I jumped in, I'm like, wow, this feels amazing to be part of this really vibrant, active community. And I'm so engaged and so connected to people I don't know that I actually want to find a way to build the bridge from my access point to everyone else that believes in what we're doing. And that kind of two-way conversation that's happening is it's a game changer. It's by far the most different kind of community and structure than anything previous that I've ever been a part of, because everything I've ever been a part of was always built on community. whether it's my label Democ and growing that and signing artists and finding people to support those artists, or, you know, as you know, Scott, TCG in the trading card game community, you know, it is, you know, we have our own world, and we like live in our own space, and we grow our own kind of vegetables and commerce, and we kind of stay there, and we're proud of it, and we just grow it. And then there's some forces come in and start opening it up to the commercialized world. But we're very, very proud of our world, right? So I see it. I've been part of so many communities, but in the NFT as a whole, it's much more of a two-way conversation from the creator and the people that are moving the needle, and the people that are riding with you.
What I hear you describing, Steve, is the intersection of community and innovation. And you have been an entrepreneur and an innovator literally for decades. You've helped to build out the future of music, the future of what it means to be a DJ, to create experiential events. And now, how do you work to stay cutting edge? Because you've done that for a long time.
Stay hungry.
Okay.
That's it. It's like the most important is, you know, even when I'm at this point of like a level of success where it's like, okay, I'm chilling, feet on the table, I don't need to do shit anymore, I'm just gonna stay here. Like the second I even started thinking like that, I literally slapped myself. Like it's not who I am. I'm not the guy that, like, when I take a vacation, I don't like lay on the beach and drink a Mai Tai. Like I'm like, my way of vacation is ideation. My way of finding like a level of freedom to like to like just you know, like stay away from work is to like think about everything else that's happening, and also realize that I only have, technically, by the way that we live our lives to this point, I mean, technology is going to help that, but I only have 40, 50 more years left. So that's not enough time for me. That's just not enough time. I have so much more to be able to be of service to people, to be able to create and develop and grow and be part of, you know, interesting projects that will disrupt and change the world. And I've like literally just scratched the surface. I'm at 2%. I need like 500 more years. You know, I need a lot more time of what I can imagine. So there's like the time wasted is me just thinking that everything is like a passive ride. It's not. We got to continue to be deliberate with our process. Always push for the, you know, the moments of discomfort. Always like get yourself out of your safety zone, so that way you can learn and develop and enrich. Because that's whenever you learn more, you enrich your life, you know, and opportunities start opening up even further, right? It's Absolutely. Like I take the physical ice bath, you know, whenever I'm home, but also you got to take the mental ice bath. You know, you got to put yourself in the cold, and you got to be like, we're staying here because we want to grow, you know, and we're hungry and we want more.
That theme you described, Steve, of challenging yourself, of continuing to learn, is one of the things I hear from some of the best innovators in the world. If you listen to Richard Branson, if you listen to Mae Musk, who's been a model for 50 years and who represents fashion and innovation, it's about continuously challenging yourself. And it sounds like that's what I'm hearing from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's always more, you know, there's always more that you can do, more that you can contribute, and more that you can learn. You know, I mean, that's the most important thing, is it like, as much as I feel like I am contributing, I am absolutely learning. I am absolutely like listening and, you know, being a student, you know, and I think it's important to take those steps, no matter how successful you get, with humility and with, you know, with the idea that there's so much more that you don't know. And you need to like position yourself in that position, because then if you put yourself there, then you have so much more to gain.
Yeah,
right? You have so much more to be able to, enrich your life, but if you think you know everything, you're basically blocking yourself from so much more that you can gain from.
So let's bring this back to fashion. Our audience with Fashion Week Online, many models, people who do hair and makeup, people who produce shows like you do in the fashion world. And you talked about learning from others and inspiration. Are there any particular folks who've been inspiring to you in the realms of fashion, folks that you thought, I need to exceed what they're doing?
Japanese fashion designers have always been kind of like the aspirational goals for me. They've always been, for me, like my kind of like North Star of what things I love, what things I can innovate towards, what ways that I like the clothes that I want to wear, or the clothes that I see in the future. When I go to Japan, I get like fully inspired. And luckily I've been able to meet some of them and collaborate with some of them, work with some of them, and learn under their guidance. And it's just been an exciting ride in that respect. So like a shout out Hiroshi Fujiwara from Fragment. Like he's been a mentor and a friend for over 15, 16 years. I've known him since 2003. So God, it's a lot longer than that. But just an absolute pioneer. Obviously Nigo, Bathing Ape, what he created with Bathing Ape, and now he has Human Made. I really love Nigo. And let's talk about some of the American designers too, like Jeremy Scott, who's worked with Adidas and Moschino. He's actually, like, I met him through my sister when she was a model many moons ago, and decades and decades ago. I followed him, and he was part of my world too. He would like venture into my space because I was throwing the parties and I had like the whole thing going on, and and his fashion world definitely mixed in with what we were doing. And so loved to see friends and colleagues and people I that obviously I don't know that just crushed the game and time again. So but Japanese designers have always been kind of like my soft spot for sure.
Steve Aoki, the future seems limitless for the Aoki brand and for the Aokiverse. Thank you so much for your time and for dropping some knowledge on us, and for your attitude of humility and sharing what you have with the world. Building community is incredible. Thank you for talking to the community of Fashion Week Online today.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you so much.